For as long as I can remember now, when the Oscars come out, it's, you tune in to ABC. That's where the Oscars are. Well, that's changing. And it's changing in a very modern way. Because according to this story from the Hollywood Reporter, the Oscars are leaving ABC and they're going to start calling their home YouTube starting in 2029. The Hollywood Reporter wrote the following: after decades of airing on ABC, the Oscars will be broadcast via YouTube starting in 2029. The Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences announced Wednesday the Alphabet Network will continue to air the world's most watched awards show through the 100th Oscars ceremony in 2028. So ABC will still continue to be the home of the Oscars for the next couple of years. The Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences and YouTube signed a multi-year deal that will give YouTube the exclusive global rights to the Oscars beginning in 2029, with the 101st Oscars ceremony running through 2033. So at least the initial deal is going to be 4 years. And by the way, it's more than just the Oscars. It's going to be the governor's ball ceremony. It's going to be various things they do throughout the year. There was even some stuff in one of the articles talking about maybe even creating some special features surrounding the new Academy Museum. So it's a very exhaustive kind of partnership. And it ain't free. YouTube is paying for this privilege. And they're paying big as YouTube more and more, who of course are, look, we talk a lot about Netflix and HBO and Disney Plus. No. The number one streamer in the world is YouTube by a large margin.
Yeah.
Mostly because of this channel.
Mostly because of the John Campea Show. Mm-hmm. Let's be honest and call a spade a spade. My lawyers will be in touch. So, I mean, they want to get more into the prestige stuff, it sounds like. It sounds like YouTube is going to be more than just a video sharing platform. They want to be the go-to network. So they're going to be starting to do the Oscars. Rob, this takes away a lot of the people's questions about how do I watch the Oscars? It was simple. Just open up YouTube. Same way I watch the Game Awards. Just open up YouTube. So this is a major shift. And it not going from one network to another, but rather to YouTube. Anyway, Rob, what's your takeaway on this?
Well, I have to tell you, I feel that our civilization, Western civilization, has been a little slow on the uptake when it comes to new media and new media forms of delivery. And to be honest, this has been a long time coming. And the fact that, look, I love the MPAA, or the Motion Picture Arts Society, MPAS. Or MPA. Yes.
Now, it used to be the MPAA.
Yeah.
It used to be the Motion Pictures Association of America.
But
they changed it to the Motion Pictures Association.
But this is the Motion Picture Arts and Sciences that runs the museum and puts on the Oscar.
Yes.
AMPAS.
Yes,
it's AMPAS, yes. So they have been slow. They finally allowed clips from past Oscars to be on YouTube, which took a long time for them to do that. And I love those clips. I can't tell you, some of those clips I've watched 100 times. When you watch actors, I know the speeches don't really, but just to see the era and see Bob Hope host and all that, I eat that up. When I read this morning, you probably saw this before I texted it out, but I was like, it's about effing time, dude. This is great news. Look, this is one of the most watched broadcasts in the world. And I'll tell you what else. What I love about this is there are people that have never watched the Oscars around the planet Earth. They talk about, well, 1 billion people watch the Oscars. Well, there's 8 billion people on the planet. There's a lot of people who've never seen the Oscars. The only thing with this date, what is it, 2032?
Well, it starts 2029.
Right, 2029.
2033.
Running through 2033.
That's very optimistic about the state of cinema. And that's what the thing that made me very happy about it. And admittedly, due to my delving into AI over the last 2 weeks, various forms of AI, I too have suddenly been, my thoughts on the state of cinema have suddenly become much more optimistic than they were before. Believe it or not, before I started looking into certain AI software and what it can do. I am more optimistic than ever that more new filmmakers are going to start making movies, and Hollywood movies can be made much cheaper, but it is not going to get rid of the human element.
Yeah, and it's not going to be AI slop. That's not what you're talking about.
Not at all. That's
you're talking about real creatives.
I'm talking about real creatives, that people that know how to make movies, and I'm going to do a show about it later. But oh my God, not today. But It's amazing. And to know that the Oscars are like, hey, we're paying this, they're going to pay us this money. And YouTube's like, yes, movies are back, baby. Between Ted Sarandos, between the Oscars being on YouTube, we have a future. And between my excitement for Avengers Doomsday, Parts 1 and 2, Endgame, and Secret Wars, and Spider-Man Brand New Day, we're back.
By the way, speaking of AI and the Oscars, I've been told, and I'm sure you've probably heard it too, I'm sure a lot of people hear this, the Academy right now is looking at new rules to limit or ban the use of AI. If you use a certain amount of AI in a film, the film is disqualified from Oscar.
I like that.
Potential. Yeah, I would like that too. Now, whether or not they actually come around to nailing that and doing that, we'll find out. But it would be an interesting move. But again, the main story here is it's moving to YouTube, which is instantly going to make, for the Oscars have always been broadcast around the world, but now it's like simple. Wherever you are in the world, open YouTube and away you go. So it's going to be really interesting to see what that does for viewership. Again, the viewership of the Oscars has been going up after going down for many consecutive years. It's been going up lately, but it's still going to be interesting to see what this does for viewership, accessibility, how it changes the nature of it and all. But it's a really interesting thing here. Again, it's not going into effect for a few years. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this episode, PrizePicks. Honestly, this is the best time of year for sports. We've got hockey, basketball's heating up, football pushing towards the playoffs, and big games happening every single night. And while we can sit around and argue about which team's going to win, there's one place where it just feels good to be right, and that's PrizePicks. What I love most about PrizePicks is just how simple it is. You just pick more or less on at least 2 player projections, build your lineup, and that's it. No drafts, no season-long commitments, just jump in whenever you want. And I have been having a blast making lineups while watching games, and it honestly makes every matchup way more fun to follow. One of the coolest things about it is that they've just added early payouts. If your lineup gets off to a hot start, you may have the option to cash out before the game even finishes. And I also love how flexible it is. Whether you're going for safer, flex play, or bigger power plays, PrizePicks makes everything super clear with their payout multipliers. So here's what you do. Download the PrizePicks app today and use the code Campea to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code Campea to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. But guys, what do you think? Starting in a couple of years, the Oscars are going to move from ABC to YouTube. What's the potential? What's the potential dangers of that? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.